Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going to refresh one of our more popular videos, and that is to look at the full Chase credit card catalog as of late 2022, early 2023. So, in typical fashion, we will cover, Chase as a company for a bit. We'll talk about their reward structure and earnings, the application rules, of course, the cards themselves, and there are a lot of them, so we really don't have time to waste. So, if you find that interesting, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now again, I will say this, we have a full playlist, actually a content shelf on the main channel page dedicated to Chase, so I'll link that playlist down below, the Chase 101, because it's going to go in a lot more depth into a lot of different topics that we touch on here, but this is kind of like your overall summary view of Chase, and then again, the deeper dives will be down below for you. But with that, let's take a look at Chase as a company and see how they started. Now, of course, we're just pulling out some bullet points, because as you can see here, you can date them all the way back to 1799, where they started as the Manhattan Company that was chartered by New York State Legislature to supply, quote, pure and wholesome drinking water. Now, they do have some founders of note here. Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr were founders, which is interesting because they sort of have an awkward encounter later in history. Now, the Chase that we know today came about from a merger between Chase Manhattan Bank and J.P. Morgan back in 2000. Now, and as it sits today in late 2022, about $3.3 trillion in assets, making it the largest bank in the country by far, sitting on the top 5 of power banking. As you know, I've put it before on the channel. So that's a little bit about Chase. Now let's talk about the cards themselves. When it comes to card issuers, they are 1 or 1A, depending how you look at them, and American Express, right? Chase is definitely my favorite. Get my bias out of the way early here. Again, if you're new to the show, if you watch a lot, then that's not surprising to you. But there's still some things to know. So first of all, let's start off with the application rules. Then we'll talk about points and earnings. Then get into the cards themselves before we wrap with some final thoughts. So again, the application rules that we know about, 524 is the most infamous. If you've opened 5 or more new credit card accounts in the last 24 months, Chase will decline you. Of course, there's some things you need to know about business cards as well. Business cards historically do not count towards 524, but again, to go deeper into that, we have a full 524 video down below for you in that playlist. There's also the 2 and 30 rule, 2 applications every 30 days. And then bonuses, luckily enough here, you can get a bonus every 24 months. However, you can't hold the same card, so you'd have to cancel it or product change or something like that. Now, Sapphire line, of course, that we'll talk about is every 48 months, but those are the application rules that we know about with Chase. Now, again, sometimes people end up still getting through around that 2 and 30 rule. A lot of it can come down to, where you're at in your credit journey, credit score, things like that. But those are good, good rules of thumb, so to speak, when it comes to Chase. Now, if you can get through those rules, take a look at the earnings. Now, of course, they have co-branded cards, and co-branded cards are going to earn their own points currency, but the core Chase cards earn what we call ultimate reward points. Now, the cool thing about ultimate reward points is they're pretty flexible because they can be redeemed for cash back or travel. So, we'll get into the cards you need specifically, but cash back, deposit into your bank account, statement credits. Of course, they have gift cards. For the travel side, there's also transfer partners. We'll put some of those on screen for you, and there's a travel portal. Now, of course, you do need specific cards to do that, and we'll talk about what's known as the Chase trifecta at the end of this. But again, overall, pretty good points currency. There's no redemption limits or minimums, and your points don't expire, which is pretty good. So those are the basics of this. Now let's jump into it. And so we're going to section this off between the core Chase cards, then we'll go into hotels, and then airlines, and then like the random assortment of cards. And I'll put chapters down below if you want to jump in through those, but since they have so many cards, that's how we're going to group them. So when we get into it here, starting out with the core Chase cards, we have first up the Slate Edge. Slate Edge, no annual fee. Multipliers here, non-existent because this is going to be your low APR balance transfer card. So again, they do have some interesting tricks here though. You can raise your credit limit, automatic one-time review for higher credit limit when you actually make your on-time payments, and spend $500 in the first 6 months. In addition to that, again, as they have the lower APR as we mentioned. Now we get into the Freedom Student. So again, no annual fee here. Classic 1x back on all purchases. However, the benefits, if you're in good standing, you basically get $20. What they mean by that is you pay your bill on time. So it's really meant to encourage on-time payments for students. And of course, there's a credit limit increase after 5 monthly payments within 10 months of the card opening. Now they have the Freedom Unlimited. So again, no annual fee, 5x back on travel via the Ultimate Rewards portal, 3 back on restaurants, 3 back on drugstores. and a classic 1.5x on all purchases. Now we have one of the powerhouse cards, and one of my favorites is the Freedom Flex. So again, there is an OG Freedom, original Freedom, but we're only talking about the cards that you can actually apply for today. You can still get it, but you can't apply for it. So Freedom Flex, that replaced the original Freedom card about 2 years ago. And this one, no annual fee multipliers. This is going to be your rotating quarterly category card, so 5x on up to $1,500 in combined purchases and rotating quarterly categories. Now, you're also going to get 5x on travel via the travel portal, 3 on restaurants, 3 on drugstores, 1 back on everything else. And there is cell phone coverage as well, $800 per claim, up to 2 claims per year. Now we're going to get into the Sapphire line here. So still in the core lineup, but these are the travel cards. So Sapphire Preferred, annual fee of $95. Multipliers here, 5x on travel via the Chase travel portal, 2x back on regular travel, so if you don't book it through the travel portal, 3 back on dining, 3 on streaming, 3 on online groceries, but there is no Target, Walmart, or wholesale clubs there, so make note of that. Benefits, no foreign transaction fees, 10% anniversary points bonuses based on your total spend each year, and a $50 hotel credit via the Chase portal when you book your hotel that way. Now, they do have superpowers, so if you go back to what we meant when we talked about the Ultimate Rewards points, you can actually combine Ultimate Reward points from other cards, all the cards we've just talked about and a few others coming up, to this card, and that's going to, one, let you use transfer partners to transfer to airline and hotel partners, or if you book through the travel portal, the Chase travel portal, you'll get a 25% points boost when doing so. So pretty nifty party trick there. Now, the Sapphire Preferred has a big brother. That is the Sapphire Reserve. So, annual fees, heavy, $550. Multipliers, 3 back at restaurants, 3 on travel, 5 on air travel via the Chase portal, 10 on hotels and car rentals via the travel portal, 10x on Chase dining, and 1 back on everything else. There's a $300 travel credit. It's really easy to use. Basically, everything codes as travel, which is nice. Even like parking garages and things like that in like a city that I didn't even mean to do it. It triggered back when I had this card. TSA pre and global entry, priority pass, travel, and your basic travel insurances, primary collision damage waiver if you're renting a car, which is really good. You can also combine the Ultimate Reward points here to use transfer partners, or this time if you go through the travel portal, you will get a 50% points boost when booking via the travel portal. Now, there is kind of like a Halo type card out there, if you will, called the JP Morgan Reserve. It's basically the same thing as the Sapphire Reserve, except you're going to end up getting a United Club access, but this is kind of an invite only. You have to be, I think it's Chase Private Banking or Private Client to get this, so you can't really apply for it, but it is still technically in existence, so I'm putting it in here. Now we move on to the Chase Business line, which is the Inc. line. So first up is the Inc. Business Unlimited. These are still earning Ultimate Reward points, so there is 1.5x on all purchases from the Inc. Unlimited. Inc. Cash is one of my favorite business cards. No annual fee. Multipliers here, 5x on up to $25,000 spent in combined purchases each card member year at office supply stores, internet, cable, and phone services. You can also get 2 back on another $25,000 spent in combined purchases at gas stations and restaurants, and then, of course, the classic 1 back on all other purchases. We have the Inc. Business Preferred next. So, again, $95 annual fee. Multipliers here. 3 back on your first $150,000 spent in combined purchases at travel, shipping, internet, cable, and phone services, social media, and social engine ads each card member year, 1 back on everything else. In addition to that, there are no foreign transaction fees. You do get cell phone coverage, again, up to $600 per claim, 3 claims per year. This one also has the same superpower as the Sapphire Preferred we just took a look at, so you can still combine Ultimate Reward points, and then you're going to get access to the transfer partners or the 25% points boost if you're going through the travel portal. Now we have one more Inc. card, that is the Inc. Premier, and it is a little bit of an odd man out, because while this card does earn Ultimate Reward points, they are not transferable as all the other cards we talked about. You can move Ultimate Reward points to the Inc. Premier, but you can't move points from the Inc. Premier to other cards, and you don't get, to transfer them out. It's basically just a cashback card. So the annual fee, $195, multipliers, 2 back on all purchases, 2.5x on purchases of $5,000 or more, and 5x travel via the travel portal. You do get cell phone protection, primary CDW, which is good, and then trip delay cancellation and travel insurances like that. And so with that, that takes us through the core travel cards. Now, we're going to go into airlines next, and we'll start with Southwest. So they have a few cards in the lineup. Southwest Rapid Rewards Plus is first up. That is $69 annual fee. Multipliers here, 2 back on Southwest, 2 back on the Rapid Rewards Hotel and Car Rental Partners, 2 back on local transit, commuting, and ride shares, and 2 back on internet, cable, phone services, and streaming. Benefits: 2 early bird check-ins each year, 25% back on in-flight purchases, and 3 back on 3,000 anniversary miles starting in year 2, so basically when you renew your card. Graduating on up, we have the Rapid Rewards Premier, $99 annual fee. The multipliers adjust slightly. This time it's 3 back on Southwest purchases. Everything else stays the same. Benefits here, 6K anniversary points when you renew the card. Same 2 early bird check-ins, 25% back, still there. No foreign transaction fees. And of course, 1,500 qualifying points towards A-list and A-list preferred status if you spend 10K a year on this card. And next up, we have the Southwest Rapid Rewards Priority, the big brother of them. So $149 annual fee. Multipliers very similar. 3 back on Southwest, 2 back on the other categories. This time, you're going to get 7,500 anniversary miles in year 2 plus $75 Southwest annual travel credit. 4 upgrade boardings per year. The other benefits are going to be the same. Now, we also have 2 Southwest business cards that we're going to group here just to make it simpler. So, again, the first one here, Business Premier, $99 annual fee. 3 back on Southwest purchases, 2 back on Rapid Rewards, Hotel and Car Rental Partners, 2 back local transit, commuting, and ride shares. Benefits here, 6,000 anniversary points, 2 early bird check-ins, 25% in flight, basically the same thing, just the business version. Then you also have the business performance, so $199 annual fee. Your multipliers here, they're the same structure, they just move up a little bit. You also add in social media, search engines, ad spend there. 9,000 anniversary points. You're going to get 4 upgrade passes again. Wi-Fi credits, the global entry credit, and then the others stay the same as well. Now, there's also a partnership with United in the Chase land, and that's where we're headed next. So now we have the United Gateway card. So their entry-level card, no annual fee. Multipliers, 2x on United purchases, 2 back on transit, commuting, and rideshare, 2 back on gas, and 1 on everything else. 25% on board, 25% discount on board United purchases, and no foreign transaction fees. Nice little starter card. United Explorer is a fan favorite. So again, multipliers stay the same for that $95 annual fee. You just add in a few more. So hotels and dining this time. You add in a TSA pre-global entry credit, first check bag free and primary CDW, which again is an underrated perk, especially for $95. We have the third United card, which is the Quest card. So $250 annual fee. Multipliers stay the same, but this time around, benefits expands a little bit. So you're going to get $125 anniversary United credit, 2 5,000 anniversary flight award credits, and that breaks down basically 5,000 miles after you take a United or United Express operated award flight booked with miles up to 2 times every anniversary year. It's a pretty nice perk. Free first and second check bag for you and a companion player 2. TSA pre-global entry, priority boarding, 25% off the in-flight purchases, and again, primary CDW. We also have the United Club Infinite, the big brother of the personal United card. So clocking in at $525 annual fee. Multiplier stays somewhat the same, although United punches up to 4x. The big change here is the benefits that you're going to get a United Club membership. That's like their airport lounge. But everything else pretty same. Now, they also have 2 business cards as well. So the United Business Card, the Mileage Plus program again, $99 annual fee. Multipliers mostly the same, except this time you add in gas stations, office supplies, and transit. Free first check bag, $100 travel credit, priority boarding. You do get the 5,000 anniversary points with this card when you combine it with a personal United card, which is kind of a neat touch there. You also have the United Club Business, which is a $450 annual fee. 2 back on United, 1.5 on everything else, 2 check bags plus your companion United Club membership as well. You get Premier upgrades if available, Premier Access Travel Service, and Avis President's Club for your pricing there. Now next we have the Aeroplan card. So this one's kind of a one-off card, but we have $95 annual fee. Multipliers, 3 back on Air Canada purchases, 3 back on grocery stores and dining. Benefits, your first check bag will free for you and 8 companions on Air Canada, which is pretty generous. Global entry and TSA pre. You do get Aeroplan 25K status for the remainder of this year and next when you sign up, and then you can keep it with $15,000 in spend on the card. And there's a 500 point bonus with 2,000 in spend, up to 1,500 points a month. Now, we also have three more one-offs here to round out airlines. First up, British Airways Visa Signature. Again, $95 annual fee, so we're noticing a theme here. 3x on British Airways, Air Lingus, and Iberia. 2 back on hotels and 1 back on all purchases. 10% off BA flights when you book through an offer link. They have a link for you in your account. You spend $30K in a calendar year to receive a Travel Together ticket, and you can also get up to $600 in flight statement credits. Now, we have two basically mirrors of that card, the Aer Lingus Visa Signature, which is basically the same thing, and then we also have the Iberia Plus again, which is also pretty much the same card as there, so we can run through those. Lastly, we have a few hotel chains to get through to take us home. So they have Marriott, Hyatt, and IHG. We'll start with Marriott. Marriott Bonvoy Bold, no annual fee, multipliers, 2 back on Marriott purchases, 2 back on travel. You're going to get Silver Elite status and then 15 Elite Night credits. Basically, I think those credits go towards helping you get status. Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, the middle child here. $95 annual fee, 6x back on Marriott purchases, 3 back on gas, groceries, restaurants, up to $6,000 a year. After that, it drops down to like the 2 back on all purchases. This time, you're going to get an anniversary night up to 35,000 points stay when you renew your card every year. One elite night credit towards status per $5,000 in spend. You're going to get Silver Elite status, and again, you get the same 15 Elite Night credits that we saw on the entry version. And we have a newer card now, which is the Marriott Bonvoy Bountiful, coming in at a $250 annual fee. Again, 6 back on Marriott, 4 back on groceries and dining, capped at $15,000 a year in spend, 2 back on everything else. This time around, you're going to get Gold Elite status, the same 15 Elite Night credits. You can earn 1,000 Bonvoy points with each stay, which is nice. You free 50,000 night certificate if you spend $15K on the card in a year, and no foreign transaction fees. Now we're going to go to the Hyatt lineup next. There are 2 of them. They are very popular, so we have a $95 annual fee, 4 back on Hyatt, 2 back on dining, gyms, airline purchases, and transit. You're going to get an anniversary night each card member year, again when you renew your card year number 2. Additional night if you spend $15,000 or more on the card, and 5 qualifying nights towards status, plus Discoverist status as well. There's also a Hyatt business card that has a lot going on. So this time you step up to a $199 annual fee, 4x back on Hyatt hotels and resorts, 2 back on your top 2 spend categories each quarter, so you can kind of see what your options are: dining, airline tickets, car rentals, local transit and commuting, gas stations, internet, cable, and phone services, social media and ad spend, and shipping. You also get 2 back on fitness clubs, because apparently Hyatt's the only one who wants you to work out. And all these cards. Benefits: Hyatt Discoverist Elite. You can earn 5 Elite Night credits with each $10,000 in spend in the calendar year. Spend $50K in a calendar year to receive 10% of your redeem points back for the remainder of the calendar year. Nice touch, still a lot of spend though. Earn a $100 Hyatt credit each anniversary year. If you spend $50 or more in Hyatt properties, and earn $50 in statement credits, up to 2 times each anniversary year. You can also gift Discovery status to others. No foreign transaction fees. Again, you're going to get primary CDW, travel insurances, and access to the Hyatt Leverage Travel Program. Now we're going to move on to IHG. So IHG Traveler Rewards Traveler Card. No annual fee, multipliers, 5 back on IHG. 3 back on utilities, internet, cable, phone, and streaming. 3 back on gas stations and dining, and 2 back on everything else. Your benefits are interesting here. 4th reward night when you redeem points for any stay, 4+ nights, Silver Elite status, which you could get gold if you spend $20K on the card a year, and 10,000 points with $10,000 in spend a year. Other IHG cards we have here is the Premier. So $99 annual fee, 10x back on IHG purchases, 5 on travel, gas stations, and dining, 3 back on all their purchases. Benefits here, again, anniversary night up to 40,000 points, same 4th night perk, Platinum Elite status, but you could get Diamond if you spend $40K on the card, Classic TSA Global Entry, and the same, you get 10,000 points plus $100 statement credit if you spend $20,000 a year on the card. And then we have the IHG Premier Business Card. $99 annual fee, multipliers here, 10 back on IHG, 5 on travel, gas, dining, social media, ad spend, and office supply stores, and 3 back on everything else. Benefits here, again, the same anniversary night for 40,000 points, Platinum Elite status or Diamond if you spend $40K. The rest of the cards pretty similar. You do get a free night award if you spend $60K a year on the card. That same 4th night free is there as well. Now, absolutely to take us home this time, I think I spoke too soon last time, we have a few random co-branded cards that we're going to take a look at. So first is the Disney partnership. Now, Disney here, the classic one, no annual fee, going to get one back on everything, 10% savings on Disney purchases and Disney vacation financing. We have the Disney Premier Visa, which is a $49 annual fee. Multipliers does get a little interesting. 5x back at Disney Plus, Hulu, or ESPN Plus, those like the Disney streaming services. 2 back on Disney locations, like the theme parks, places like that, gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants. There's a 10% savings on Disney purchases. You get the vacation financing and Disney bundle statement credits as well. Now we have fan favorites, the Amazon card. So this is the regular one. This is no annual fee. You do not have to have a Prime membership to have this one. And you get 3 back on Amazon and Whole Foods, 2 back on restaurants, gas stations, and drugstores, 1 back on everything else. Now you'd have the Amazon Prime Rewards Visa. This is one of the better cards in the game for cash back. Technically no annual fee, but you do have to have a Prime membership. I believe it's $139 now, but they're always raising the price. 5 back on these. This time the multipliers basically just jump up a little level for Amazon, so 5 back on Amazon and Whole Foods. Everything else is the same. And then lastly, we have a newer card, which is the Instacart card. So it's modeled heavily after the Amazon cards, but you get 5x back on Instacart purchases, 5 back to the Chase Travel Portal, 2 back on restaurants, gas, and streaming, 1 back on everything else, and you do get some MasterCard World Elite benefits there. And so there we have it, guys. That is all of the Chase cards. Man, there was a lot. This is probably one of the longer videos we've done in this series of looking at banks and their credit card lineup. So overall thoughts. I said at the beginning, it's no secret, Chase is some of my favorite cards. I have multiple Freedom cards, multiple Ink cards. I've had the Sapphire cards, you name it. But overall, I think Chase is one of the top, if not the top issuers out there. Now, how you should play this? Well, again, it's almost 2 separate things. So first of all, the Chase cards in the beginning, right? Those can come together to form something we call the Chase Trifecta or the Chase Superfecta. Now, again, in that playlist, we have a full dedicated video that goes into much more detail. But on screen you have it. It's really when you choose one of those top cards, right? Because those are the ones with annual fees that I call the anchor cards. You need at least 1 Sapphire card and or the Ink card. And then your foundation cards, between the Freedoms and the Inks have no annual fee, and they can basically work together and support each other. And this setup works really well if you're into travel or transfer partners. However, if you're just into cash back, then going with the bottom lineup is fine as well. And then if you're a casual traveler, you could add in the Sapphire Preferred, something like that. Heavier travel, Sapphire Reserve, you name it. And then you could also, on top of that, if you like the transfer partners, then you could, look to add in Hyatt or IHG or Marriott, because again, Chase points are going to transfer over to those, plus you could get the card that potentially gets you some status. And that's really why I like, Chase cards. And yes, we're kind of breezing through this part because I'm talking for so long, but again, there's so much optionality and functionality, whether you want to play cash back, you want to play a medium tier of travel, or you want to play a heavier tier of travel, there's something for you, right? And that's kind of why I like Chase cards, and that's why I think they're really good for most people because of that optionality overall. You can do a lot of damage, earn a lot of ultimate reward points, and not really have to pay that much in annual fees if you don't want to. So overall, I think we'll be refreshing this in another year because Chase is one of the more aggressive issuers, and they're usually coming out with other cards. But again, I'm a huge fan of Chase. That's why I like Chase cards, because of that flexibility and that optionality. Again, full playlist down below that goes into much more detail on all of these topics. But we've been here for a while now, so of course, guys, so if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Again, my question for you guys is sound off down below. Which ones are your favorite Chase cards? What's your favorite combination or setup? Or what do you want to see Chase add in the future for other benefits or other cards? Because I do think there's still going to be some expansion of the catalog coming, hopefully next year. Everyone seems like they need a credit card partner these days. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you very soon in the next one.